Today is Wednesday, November 19th, and this is the Bay Blend from WUSF. I'm Sky LeBron. You ever think about model shipbuilding? Yeah, honestly, neither do I. But I went to a club in the Tampa Bay area where model shipbuilding is their lifestyle. We're going to go there together in just a couple minutes, plus I have some free holiday events to check out. But first, let's hit the news. We're officially in stage 1 of a water shortage in the Tampa Bay region. The Southwest Florida Water Management District just made that call. It means any water use considered wasteful isn't allowed. That's anything from too much lawn watering to crying under the shower for 45 minutes. They want people to water their lawn only once a week in most of the counties in the Tampa Bay region. Officials say outdoor water use accounts for more than half of all the water that homes consume. Hillsborough County decided last night to build 2 new schools. The idea spurred a lot of debate at the district school board meeting because some are worried about charter schools taking up the empty space at these new schools as soon as they open. Here's board member Stacy Hahn.
Slow your roll, slow it down, be thoughtful, be cautious.
She wanted the board to wait a few months for details on the new charter school law to get ironed out, but the board approved the school construction anyways. That means a new elementary school north of downtown Tampa next to Stewart Middle and a new middle school in Waimama. A bill in the state legislature would make it a priority to teach elementary school kids how to write cursive. They'd start learning it in 2nd grade and have a test on it in 5th. Florida House Rep Toby Overdorf says a lot of historical documents and even letters from the grandparents come in cursive.
Cursive is more than just penmanship. It strengthens literacy, it improves fine motor skills, and it allows students to engage with America's history firsthand.
The law just passed its first House committee yesterday. Honestly, I know a lot of adults that could also use this cursive training. Gotta be honest, despite growing up around water my entire life, I never learned much about boats. I know about the stern, the hull because that's where the barnacles grow, and the poop deck because that's a necessary piece of knowledge as an elementary schooler. Luckily, a lot of other people know about ships, especially here in the Tampa Bay region. If you need someone to spit maritime knowledge to you, there's not much of a better place than at the Tampa Bay Ship Model Society. I went to one of their meetings at the Trinity Lutheran Church right on 5th Ave in St. Petersburg to see what they're all about and talk to their president, Steve Soboralski. He's been building models since he was 6.
How many people know about this? Do you think it's more of an underrated niche thing, kind of like a hidden gem?
Modeling in general is kind of a declining hobby, I would guess. And you can see from looking around here, most of our members are much older than you. And every once in a while, we'll get somebody young in. Ship modeling is I guess it's always been kind of an old man's hobby, I suppose. A lot of people get into it after they retire. They see advertisements for these, kits, the wooden ship model kits, and they think, well, I've got time on my hands. I think I'll give that a try.
I think once I retire, if that ever happens, I'll do something a bit lower effort, like pickling or yelling at children within a half mile of my front yard, because building model ships can be intense.
What's the longest a model has ever taken you?
Oh, I have some that from start to finish have taken 10 years. I didn't bring them in, but I have some very large models. I tend to work in what we call large scale. And I have ships that are 4 or 5. I even have one ship that's over 6 feet long.
How much space does that take up in the house?
About 6 feet.
All right, yeah, I was looking for that one.
I fortunately have a very tolerant wife.
The meeting I went to was kind of like a show and tell. Everyone brought in their model ships and talked about how they made it and the real ship's history. It was really interesting seeing the passion that some people have for the hobby. For example, just take Charles Gravelisi.
This is the Continental Navy frigate Confederacy, built by the Continental Congress in 1779.
He was quick to show off a ship, and for good reason. It looked like you fired a shrink ray at the real thing.
I hate to sound corny, but I feel like it's why I was put on this planet.
Really?
Yeah, this was, the more I do it, the more impassioned I get about it,
He says anyone could get into the hobby.
A lot of people will say you need patience. You don't need patience. You do need a degree of patience.
A little bit of patience.
You need determination. Because there's so many failures that you're going to encounter along the way. It's all trial and error, and you're going to fail so many times, and you have to just have that ability to know when to put it aside and come back to it and just keep at it and not give up.
If not, you might throw it across the room because you're frustrated. You say you
I've
got
come close a couple of times, yeah.
When I was there, I met 2 guys, Roger and Howard, who became fast friends through the club. They actually motorized their boats and run them on a pond together. I loved seeing that friendship aspect of it, and I really loved how Roger talked about why he's so into the hobby.
It's a matter of staying active. At my age, it adds a dimension that if I wasn't building boats, if I didn't have an interest, it would be I think a tremendous void. And it's rekindled something that I appreciated 50 years ago. And because of work and everything else, I just never had the opportunity to continue on with it. So it keeps me going.
Who knew going to a freaking model shipbuilding club would legitimately tear me up? Anyways, if you're interested in what they do and want to check them out, the Tampa Bay Model Ship Society has a website and a monthly newsletter you could find on that website. They also meet every fourth Tuesday of the month. You ever see a topic that a speaker is presenting on that you're interested in, but you're worried they're going to talk for way too long and you're going to get bored? Well, in downtown Tampa tonight, the 10 Slides, 10 Speakers event solves that. 10 speakers share 10 slides on their topic, but the slide changes every 30 seconds, meaning they can't go on a long tangent that makes you want to stick a fire hose in your face. The event was really popular in Sarasota, so they're bringing it to Tampa. It's at 715 Franklin Street, literally right across the street from the Tampa Theater. Tickets are $20, but free for students, plus you get a complimentary drink and some sushi. Here's a couple holiday events to check out Thursday if you're trying to get jolly and stuff. Centro Ybor is holding its Winter Spectacular. They're lighting a tree. There's photos with Santa. It doesn't say you have to be a kid for that, so hey, if you're 36 and you really want to pick on Santa's lap, this is your time. There's also going to be local vendors and a musical performance with a drum line. It starts at 5 and goes to 9, and this one is free $99. You're going to have to decide, though, because at the same time Thursday, Hyde Park Village is holding its own holiday happening event. This one is also free, and it'll have its own tree lighting, vendors, activities for kids, live music, and a nutcracker dance routine by the Tampa City Ballet. All the proceeds go to the Children's Dream Fund. This one has way too much to describe. Just look up the Holiday Happening Hyde Park on Facebook, and you're bound to find something in the list that catches your eye. We're getting to that really fun part of the year, and I'm just happy you're spending a little bit of that time with me in the mornings here on the Bay Blend. I know it could be silly and goofy a lot of the time, especially during these segments, but seriously, thank you for listening. I appreciate you, and I'll appreciate you even more when you're back tomorrow for another episode of the Bay Blend. Until then, have a great Wednesday.